Life is a battlefield where victory is claimed not by the clash of swords, but by the mind that moves unseen. Every encounter, every conversation, every glance is a position to be gained or lost. The enemy is not always the person opposite you. It is the impulsive reaction that erupts before thought, the assumptions whispered by social conditioning, the subtle nudges designed to provoke and distract. Recognize these hidden adversaries. Treat them as obstacles in a strategic campaign, not as irritations to be confronted. Stand in your own command center and survey the field with patience. Every human interaction is a skirmish. People act predictably under pressure, and those who rush to strike often fall into traps set by circumstance, habit, or intent of others. Reacting without foresight is surrendering the high ground. Those who move hastily expose weakness before the battle has even begun. Observe carefully. Note the small tells, the shifts in posture, the words chosen not for clarity but for control. When disagreement arises, do not respond with equal force. Instead, pivot with calm authority, redirect attention, reframe the dialogue, and guide outcomes without ever raising your voice or letting emotion dictate your response. This is mastery of the battlefield that exists in every room, every call, every email. The cost of blind engagement is more than embarrassment. It is the slow erosion of agency. Each misstep allows others to shape perception, claim initiative, and dictate the tempo of action. When you allow external forces to provoke a reaction, you relinquish command of your own domain. Those who have learned to hold themselves still, to wait, to watch, often achieve far more than those who attack first. Patience is a weapon. Observation is armor. Knowing when to act, and just as importantly, when not to, creates leverage that no visible confrontation could. Victory without confrontation requires relentless self-discipline. You must master the internal currents of desire, anger, and fear before ever attempting to influence the external field. Track your impulses, anticipate them, and convert them into deliberate, precise maneuvers. Treat every word and gesture as a calculated move on the grand chessboard of human behavior. In many modern scenarios, this translates into negotiations, workplace conflicts, and social dynamics, where those who command themselves first win silently but decisively. A calm, measured stance will disarm even the most aggressive opposition, leaving them overextended while you consolidate position. Consider a team meeting where ideas clash sharply. A colleague interrupts aggressively, challenging your proposal. Rather than counter with equal force, you pause, allow the interruption, and then respond with clarity that highlights the logic without attacking the person. Control has been maintained. The disagreement is neutralized, respect is earned. This is the principle of unseen dominance applied in real time. By acting with foresight and restraint, you achieve more than confrontation ever could. Weak react angrily and escalate. Strong observe, redirect, assert calmly. Weak insist on immediate validation. Strong establish authority through clarity and composure. Mastery of this invisible battlefield demands constant vigilance. Your attention, focus, and timing become your arsenal. Each decision is deliberate, each reaction measured, each word chosen, as if it were a precise strike in a campaign where the spoils are influence, respect, and strategic advantage. There is no need for visible combat. The observant, disciplined mind outmaneuvers the impulsive, the loud, and the reckless at every turn. Let your presence alone dictate the pace of the engagement. Let patience fracture the resolve of those who seek to provoke. Stand as the throne in the room, unmoved, commanding without effort, decisive without aggression. The promise of silent mastery is not merely survival. It is supremacy without sacrifice. It allows you to achieve goals, safeguard integrity, and shape outcomes, while others expend energy in pointless confrontations. It demands vigilance, discipline, and strategic patience, but the reward is total agency. In every interaction, you can choose to elevate above chaos, orchestrate results with minimal friction, and maintain your sovereignty in both thought and action. Treat the unseen forces as the true battlefield. Win quietly, decisively, and without the need for spectacle. Maintain control over your own impulses. Observe constantly, act with foresight, and let restraint be your weapon. Allow patience to guide you, precision to define you, and silent authority to distinguish you. Do not chase reactions, orchestrate outcomes, build power where others see weakness. Claim respect without confrontation, and consolidate influence without drawing a sword. Your kingdom exists within your own mind first, and from there, all victories flow outward. I win without striking. I conquer without exposure. I am untouchable. Your mind is the command center of your empire, the throne from which every action, word, and choice radiates outward. When you allow impulse or unchecked emotion to govern, the fortress crumbles from within, leaving you vulnerable to manipulation, distraction, and misjudgment. Observe yourself as a general surveys the battlefield. Every fear, every desire, every fleeting thought is a potential opening for attack or opportunity for control. Understand the terrain of your own mind before attempting to engage the world. Strategic observation begins with noticing patterns. When tension rises, recognize the triggers that push you toward reactive behavior. Each time you pause before answering, each time you measure response against long-term goals rather than immediate provocation, you reinforce the walls of your throne room. Let awareness dictate action. Let reflection temper impulse. A colleague challenges your plan aggressively in a meeting. Instead of snapping, you acknowledge their concern, redirect discussion to facts, and assert your position calmly. The room shifts. The threat is neutralized without direct confrontation. Weak, react defensively and escalate. Strong, observe, redirect, and assert authority with calm precision. Internal sovereignty requires absolute command over your inner world. Desire must be tamed, fear must be understood and repurposed. Judgment must remain impartial. This is the essence of ruling without exposure. When you govern your impulses, no external force can dictate your decisions. Your throne is unassailable because it exists in a mind disciplined to maintain focus, clarity, and foresight. Consider your day as a series of campaigns, emails, meetings, personal interactions. Responding with calm calculation transforms routine encounters into opportunities to strengthen position and expand influence. Treat every choice as a move on a mental chessboard. Anticipate the reactions of others, visualize the consequences of your actions, and position yourself several steps ahead. Each calculated move creates leverage without drawing attention. The best victories are won quietly, before opponents recognize the game. By planning with foresight, you dictate tempo, control narrative, and maintain initiative. Mental chess is not passive. It is a disciplined, active command that positions you for maximum advantage with minimal exposure to conflict. The cost of neglecting your throne is subtle but devastating. Reaction without reflection invites loss of control, erosion of authority, and vulnerability to manipulation. Success in the world rarely favors the impulsive. It rewards those who cultivate patience, precision, and strategic foresight. Command yourself first. Build walls of self-awareness, towers of discipline, and corridors of calm judgment. Every interaction becomes an extension of the throne, every decision a projection of your authority, every day an exercise in silent conquest. Your mind is not just a fortress, it is the source of unseen influence. Strengthen it relentlessly. Observe without judgment, act without rashness, and anticipate without anxiety. By mastering yourself, you render external opposition powerless. No visible clash is required when the mind controls the battlefield entirely. Let every thought be deliberate, every impulse disciplined, and every action a calculated assertion of internal sovereignty. I command my mind, I conquer silently. I am untouchable. The first light is your battlefield, and how you command it sets the tone for every engagement that follows. The hours before the world fully awakens are unclaimed territory, a landscape where strategy and discipline determine advantage. Rise with intent, move with precision, and treat your morning as a campaign in which every ritual is a maneuver toward victory. Each action, from hydration to focused reflection, is the placement of troops on a mental chessboard, positioning you ahead of opponents who operate in reaction rather than control. Seize the first light advantage. Begin before distraction arrives. Exercise, journal, plan, and set boundaries for your attention. Let the dawn be a period of dominance, not passive drift. Those who seize the opening moments hold momentum. Those who linger in indecision surrender initiative. Your morning is the initial strike in a series of unseen conflicts. Treat it as sacred territory, protect it, fortify it, dictate its pace. Energy is your ammunition. Guard it rigorously. Avoid unnecessary engagements, shallow scrolling, and fragmented attention. Every lapse is a breach in your fortress walls, a vulnerability others may exploit unknowingly. Preserve focus, store vitality, and allocate it to actions that yield strategic advantage. Understand that mental fatigue weakens judgment, slows calculation, and compromises foresight. Nourish body and mind deliberately, recognizing that the capacity to act decisively hinges on conserved strength. Weak, scatter energy on trivialities. Strong, reserve focus for critical operation. Morning recon is essential. Solitude becomes your observation tower, the vantage point from which challenges are anticipated and opportunities are visualized. Map the terrain of your day, predict potential disruptions, position yourself to respond with measured authority rather than instinctive reaction. Consider a colleague unexpectedly disputing your schedule. Rather than responding impulsively, you analyze priorities, reassign tasks calmly, and communicate a clear plan. The conflict dissolves, and your authority remains intact. Commanding the dawn transforms ordinary hours into controlled engagements. Each task becomes a deliberate strike, each decision a strategic move. Momentum is created through disciplined repetition, awareness of energy, and anticipation of challenges. By owning the morning, you set conditions that favor foresight over surprise, calculation over chaos, and influence over disruption. The day itself becomes a series of victories, won silently, efficiently, and without unnecessary confrontation. Every sunrise is an opportunity to project power before the world asserts itself. Structure, preparation, and anticipation turn early hours into a launch point for dominance. Protect your mind, fortify your energy, and position yourself for tactical advantage. Those who master the first hours create ripple effects that control outcomes long before opposition can act. Let discipline shape movement, let clarity guide action, and let foresight dictate pace. The battlefield of the day is claimed through calm command of the dawn. I dominate the morning, I control the day. I am unstoppable. Silence is a weapon sharper than any blade, and patience a shield stronger than armor. The world moves in clamor, reacting, arguing, and overextending while you remain poised, observant, and unmoved. Stillness is your fortress, It conceals intention while projecting authority. When others rush to act, they expose cracks in their strategy, vulnerabilities you exploit through presence rather than confrontation. Each pause, each deliberate inaction becomes a psychological strike that shapes outcomes before anyone realizes the battle has begun. Invisible dominance is cultivated through deliberate restraint. Let competitors chatter, react, and tire themselves. Your calm presence signals control, and in many cases, people misjudge inactivity as weakness, overcommitting to their own impulses. Observe, calculate, and position yourself where effort and reaction create gaps in their defenses. Stand as the immovable throne in a storm of motion. Your power is silent, but it is recognized, measured, and ultimately respected. Weak, respond to noise. Strong, hold your ground. Psychological pressure is an extension of patience. Stillness unnerves the impatient, revealing choices that are reckless, misaligned, or exploitable. Do not accelerate the rhythm of others. Instead, maintain tempo. Let hesitation appear as intentional dominance. Consider a subordinate who disputes a strategic plan aggressively. You listen, nod, and wait. The tension forces them to over-explain, revealing their misjudgment and allowing you to redirect the plan without raising your voice. The encounter ends with authority intact and unnecessary conflict avoided. Timing is your sword. Strikes that appear effortless are the result of careful observation, delayed reaction, and calculated inaction. Your restraint ensures precision. Move only when conditions favor advantage, making every intervention decisive. The world rewards those who act with awareness, not those who react with urgency. Recognize that inaction is never passive. It is a conscious strategy that positions you ahead of forces that rush blindly. Discipline your impulse to act prematurely. Let timing define the edge of your influence. Mastering stillness converts waiting into weaponry, silence into command, and patience into leverage. Every calculated pause magnifies your influence, transforms others' mistakes into opportunities, and asserts authority without confrontation. Maintain posture, watch patterns, and strike mentally before physically. Let your calm radiate, your presence dictate tempo, and your restraint shape outcomes. Victory is claimed not in volume or force, but in unshakable, invisible command. I move in silence. I strike with timing. I am untouchable. Ruthlessness is clarity, and clarity is power. To command without confrontation, you must remove obstacles that dilute authority and cloud judgment. The throne cannot be crowded, and every unnecessary tie drains energy, focus, and opportunity. Identify relationships that consume more than they contribute. Sever them decisively, yet silently, maintaining respect while eliminating distraction. Your network should be precise, your alliances deliberate, and your attention uncompromised. Weak tolerate every presence, strong cut what obstructs progress. Mental clutter is the unseen enemy of strategy. Thoughts left unchecked, worries indulged, and unresolved issues tolerated all erode your decision-making. A cluttered mind surrenders to manipulation, reacts unpredictably, and fails to see patterns that others miss. Organize, prioritize, and eliminate mental noise. Meditate, journal, or outline the day's objectives with the precision of a general drawing battle lines. Let every idea serve purpose. Every intention sharpen your edge, and every moment of focus fortify your unseen blade. Invisible neutralization extends your control beyond action. Manage perception, influence information, and anticipate opportunities before they arise. Shape your environment to reduce threats before they manifest. This is not deception, it is preparation, foresight, and psychological positioning. If a colleague begins to undermine a project, address it calmly, document boundaries, and adjust access or responsibility silently. By controlling what is visible, you preempt conflict and ensure your authority remains intact. Ruthless elimination is continuous, requiring vigilance and self-discipline. Review each interaction, habit, and engagement for its utility and cost. Let go of attachments that no longer align with strategic goals. Guard your attention as you would a fortress gate, allowing only the necessary and the loyal to enter. Recognize that every reduction in noise amplifies your power, making each decision faster, each influence sharper, and each presence undeniable. Master the art of silent removal. Cut ties that drain you, clear mental clutter that weakens you, and neutralize threats before they escalate. Your dominance is established not in confrontation, but in the uncompromising management of your domain, mind, and perception. Each calculated elimination shapes the battlefield in your favor, ensuring that when action is necessary, it is precise, overwhelming, and uncontested. I eliminate what weakens me and claim unshakable authority. Authority is perception, and perception is the silent blade that governs influence. In every hall, every room, and every encounter, your presence is the first strike, unseen but unmistakable. The throne does not speak, it commands. Stand with posture that radiates control, shoulders squared, spine unyielding, head high. Let your tone carry clarity and gravity. The look of power is your armor and your weapon. It shields vulnerability while signaling that challenge is costly. Weak, fidget, shift, hesitate. Strong, hold still, breathe, observe. Controlled emotion is the strategy beneath the mask. Every expression, reaction, and gesture conveys information, and unrestrained emotion betrays weakness. Anxiety, anger, or panic fractures authority. Calm is armor. Patience is the sword that cuts through chaos. When a colleague attempts to provoke, respond with measured words, steady tone, and deliberate action. Let the storm rage while your fortress stands unmoved. Each masked reaction disorients opponents, keeping them reactive and you in command. Authority through restraint is mastery incarnate. Those who seem untouchable rarely engage in needless battles. Their power is invisible, pervasive, and inevitable. The predator does not announce hunger, it waits with precision, each movement calculated, each decision deliberate. Similarly, restrain your impulses, moderate your actions, and allow influence to accumulate silently. By demonstrating consistent control over thought and response, you make conflict optional, not necessary. Every restraint strengthens your unseen dominion, making interference by others increasingly costly and ineffective. Projecting calm and control in the midst of chaos transforms perception into reality. Your demeanor defines interaction outcomes long before words are exchanged. Observe without surrendering your stance, listen without revealing uncertainty, and act with intention that appears effortless. Let your posture, tone, and timing serve as constant reminders that you are present, aware, and sovereign in every exchange. Every measured decision fortifies credibility, ensuring your influence extends beyond immediate observation into enduring authority. Master the mask of command. Let posture, tone, and composure shield weakness. Control emotion to unsettle others while maintaining internal sovereignty. Exercise restraint so influence is felt rather than declared. Through calm dominance, presence becomes power, and power is respected without a single confrontation. I command silently, and presence conquers all. Anticipation is the silent edge that separates the predator from the prey. Within you exists a quiet assassin, a part of yourself honed to detect weakness, foresee moves, and neutralize threats before they surface. Strategy is your sharpened blade. Foresight your constant vigilance. Observe patterns in behavior, notice inconsistencies, and let your mind calculate possibilities before the world forces action upon you. A threat anticipated is a threat controlled. A threat controlled is a victory already won. Weak react, strong foresee, adapt, strike. Foresight is the preemptive weapon of the mind. Study interactions and decisions of others as a chessboard unfolds. Position yourself where influence meets opportunity. Strike in strategy, not confrontation. A move unseen can shift outcomes without resistance. Internalize scenarios silently, rehearse responses in thought, and act only when the calculated moment arrives. Every preemptive decision saves energy, maintains authority, and avoids unnecessary conflict. Maintain vigilance without paranoia, keeping your focus razor-sharp while remaining calm outwardly. Mental precision converts potential into action. Decisions must be made swiftly in thought, even if the external world sees deliberation. Analyze, prioritize, and execute with internal clarity. When colleagues clash over direction, resolve disagreements with a measured tone and decisive clarity, demonstrating control without chaos. This micro-example of leadership reinforces the power of controlled thought. By managing internal strategy first, external resolution becomes effortless and respected. Weak, hesitate, defer, over-explain. Strong, calculate, decide, act. Controlled ferocity channels internal aggression into consistent strategic outcomes. Energy is a force, not a reaction. It must be directed towards strengthening the mind and planning moves in advance. Suppress impulsive confrontations. Instead, store intensity to inform decisions, influence outcomes, and maintain invisibility until the precise moment for action. The silent assassin does not announce presence. Victories arrive as a natural consequence of preparation, discipline, and restraint. Every restrained action amplifies your unseen dominance. To embody the inner assassin, hone foresight as your blade, cultivate mental precision, and channel ferocity into strategy. Let anticipation govern response. Observe, calculate, and execute with quiet authority. Maintain calm externally while decisively navigating every internal scenario. Master these principles, and threats dissolve before they appear. Influence grows without contest, and your silent power becomes undeniable. I strike unseen, and victory is already mine. Hunger is the engine of mastery. Within you resides a wolf, primal and relentless, driven by ambition, fear, and desire. Feed it with discipline, not indulgence, or it will consume you. Ambition is your strategist, mapping every move toward influence and authority. Let your desire for mastery sharpen focus, guide decisions, and fuel precise actions rather than reckless confrontation. Ambition unchecked becomes obsession. Ambition disciplined becomes a weapon. Track progress, prioritize objectives, and execute with the consistency of a predator stalking its terrain. Weak, scatter energy. Strong, concentrate, strike, advance. Fear is the twin flame of survival. Acknowledge its presence without yielding to panic. Convert it into vigilance. Let fear sharpen awareness, illuminate risks, and strengthen planning. Those who deny fear expose themselves to miscalculation. Those who harness it channel it into preparation and foresight. Fear transforms into a weapon when internalized and disciplined, fueling alertness and strategic advantage. Weak, freeze. Strong, recognize, analyze, act. Hungry precision binds ambition and fear into action. Each calculated move strengthens position, consolidates influence, and protects against vulnerability. Uncontrolled hunger invites errors and exposure. Precision ensures progress and safety. In negotiation, a subordinate challenges your decision, but calm, measured reasoning resolves the dispute, demonstrating authority without aggression. Hunger is satisfied not by impulsive gain, but by deliberate, targeted victories. Every step forward is a measured advance on the chessboard of influence, every hesitation a risk. Weak. Act on impulse. Strong. Measure, execute, dominate. To feed the wolf within, balance ambition with strategic focus, transform fear into vigilant insight, and exercise hunger with deliberate precision. Channel internal drive into disciplined action, let instincts refine strategy, and maintain calm control externally while ruthlessly advancing toward goals. This is the art of harnessing the primal self, a predator's mind, governing purposefully, quietly, and without confrontation. Master these forces, and the wolf serves, rather than consumes, your path to power. I feed the wolf within, and it drives me to victory. Life is a chessboard. Every interaction, every decision, every movement exists in relation to other pieces. Dominance is earned through position, not force. Place yourself strategically, controlling avenues of influence while leaving others confined to reactive play. Observe the board, anticipate consequences, and position yourself where opportunity converges with safety. Patience is your ally. Impulsive strikes invite counterattack. Weak, act quickly. Strong, observe, assess, advance. Sacrifice is a principle of long-term power. A pawn taken today may secure a queen tomorrow. Immediate gratification clouds judgment and exposes vulnerability. Prioritize unassailable positions over fleeting victories. Forego ego-driven battles to fortify influence and control. Measure each move against future advantage, not present temptation. Let short-term concessions serve your strategic endgame. Weak, seize every chance. Strong, relinquish to dominate later. Understanding opponents is a tactical imperative. Study behavior, predict intentions, and anticipate patterns. Actions are signals, words may deceive. Recognize repetition, predict likely responses, and use subtle adjustments to shape outcomes. In a disagreement, a colleague challenges a proposed plan. Instead of confrontation, you restructure the sequence of tasks to highlight mutual benefit, neutralizing conflict while advancing the agenda. Observation and subtle intervention maintain authority without overt aggression. Weak, confront openly. Strong, redirect subtly, maintain control. Positional advantage, deliberate sacrifice, and opponent analysis converge to dictate your mastery of life's chessboard. Each move should be deliberate, calculated, and aligned with overarching goals. Do not chase every threat or respond to every challenge. Choose where to engage and where to maneuver. Dominance is not declared in loud displays, but in the silent, inevitable convergence of strategic placement. Control the board, shape the game, and anticipate every response without unnecessary confrontation. The strongest player moves invisibly, yet the outcome is unmistakable. I command the board, and the game bends to me. Discipline is your armor. Every morning you rise, every decision you honor, every boundary you maintain becomes a shield against unseen adversaries. Your mind, body, and strategy must be tempered daily. Fortification is not achieved in moments of convenience, but through relentless repetition. Each small act of consistency compounds, forming internal resilience that no external force can breach. Weak act sporadically, strong repeat, refine, reinforce. Consistency is the backbone of your iron will. Begin each day with intention. Review your goals. Execute the tasks that strengthen skill and focus, and resist impulses that erode control. Let your habits be deliberate, each movement purposeful, each decision deliberate. External chaos cannot touch the one who moves predictably in mastery. Weak, respond to circumstance. Strong, impose order upon self first. Self-discipline is a weapon sharper than any blade. Obedience to your own rules ensures independence from the whims of others. When colleagues attempt to sway your schedule or disrupt your plans, meet their influence with calm adherence to your priorities. Stand firm without confrontation. Redirect energy efficiently, maintaining authority through quiet execution rather than overt resistance. Weak, react emotionally. Strong, uphold your structure and proceed. Ritualized mastery transforms ordinary behavior into strategic dominance. Morning routines, planning sessions, reflection periods, and disciplined work habits are not mundane. They are your army, deployed daily in service of your long-term conquest. Each repetition hones skill, each ritual reinforces resilience, each enforced boundary preserves sovereignty. The small daily victories compound into unassailable strength, invisible to observers yet undeniable in effect. Weak, neglect preparation. Strong, ritualize, internalize, dominate. Through consistency, self-discipline, and ritualized mastery, you forge an iron will capable of withstanding external pressures and internal doubt alike. Daily practice becomes armor. Deliberate repetition becomes your battlefield strategy. Command your habits as you command your life. Your preparation dictates your outcome. Your adherence ensures your freedom. Your rituals solidify your influence. External forces may shift. Unpredictability will arise, yet your iron will remain steadfast, impervious, and ever ready. I am forged, unbreakable, unstoppable. Authority is silent, yet it moves the world. You do not command with shouts or force. You command with presence, patience, and precision. Every interaction, every observation, every strategic pause compounds into invisible influence. Others bend to your will without realizing. The perception of control is often more potent than control itself. Weak, insist on recognition. Strong, allow impact to be felt before it is named. To achieve untouchable status, cultivate immunity to provocation. Emotional neutrality is your shield. No insult, no challenge, no act of defiance can disrupt your equilibrium. Respond not with reaction, but with calm calculation. When a colleague attempts to unsettle you over a disagreement in strategy, meet their tension with measured acknowledgement, then return to your plan. Weak, react impulsively. Strong, maintain composure. Absorb, redirect. Invisible authority relies on preparation and patience. Every decision, every habit, every daily ritual contributes to the unseen architecture of your dominance. By mastering your internal state and projecting calm confidence, you render confrontation obsolete. Others may attempt to test boundaries or challenge your competence, yet your composed presence preempts conflict before it arises. Weak, chase validation. Strong, fortify influence through consistency. Silent legacy emerges when mastery leaves a mark without leaving scars. Your effectiveness is measured, not by battles won, but by obstacles dissolved through foresight and discipline. Influence, respect, and authority flow naturally from competence, strategic foresight, and unwavering self-command. Observe, anticipate, and act where necessary, but always allow your actions to speak louder than declarations. Weak, seek applause. Strong, cultivate impact. Combine invisible authority, immunity to provocation, and silent legacy into an integrated strategy. Let preparation replace reaction, patience replace urgency, and mastery replace force. Command the room without speaking. Resolve disputes without argument, and achieve outcomes without overt struggle. Your presence becomes a force, your mind an untouchable citadel. Influence circulates as water moves around rocks, inevitable, unresisted, unseen until it shapes the landscape. I move unseen, unshaken, untouchable. You are the silent sovereign, moving through life as a master of shadows. Every decision, every gesture, every thought is a calculated strike in an invisible war. Your strategy is embodied, your awareness is a weapon. You do not react because you anticipate, weak respond hastily. Strong position yourself, calculate and execute with precision. Embodied strategy transforms daily actions into instruments of power. Dressing, speaking, observing, moving, all become integrated expressions of your dominance. Your presence alone alters the behavior of those around you, shaping outcomes without a single confrontation. Unseen power projection becomes your natural state. Influence radiates not through force, but through perception, timing, and subtle manipulation of the environment. In meetings, negotiations, or social interactions, your calm decisiveness preempts opposition. When a team member challenges your plan, you do not escalate. You absorb, clarify, and redirect without visible struggle, leaving the challenger aligned with your strategic path. Weak, assert dominance loudly. Strong, guide silently, making alignment inevitable. Authority flows through patience, anticipation, and the illusion of free choice. The mind perceives control before it can resist, rendering confrontation unnecessary. Transcendent sovereignty emerges when life bends to your strategic will. External events become predictable instruments. Your internal command dictates outcomes. You cultivate immunity to provocation, remaining unmoved by insults, setbacks, or manipulations. Emotional neutrality is your armor, allowing you to conserve energy while others exhaust themselves in futile resistance. Weak, engage impulsively. Strong, remain untouchable, letting circumstances conform to your plan. Daily rituals, reflection, and disciplined preparation integrate every lesson, creating a fortress of skill, patience, and perception. Every interaction becomes a microcosm of mastery. You negotiate without argument, influence without visible pressure, and achieve results without struggle. A subordinate questions your judgment, but your composed explanation, strategic pause, and steady presence dissolve conflict effortlessly. Weak, demand compliance. Strong, embody authority, and compliance becomes voluntary. Your legacy is silent, impact is observed, not announced. Decisions reverberate, shaping perception, culture, and influence without confrontation. You understand that the apex of power is subtlety, embodied strategy, unseen power projection, and transcendent sovereignty converge into a state of untouchable command. You move like a predator in shadows, like a chess grandmaster, controlling every square before opponents realize the game has begun. Every ritual, every habit, every mental rehearsal compounds, fortifying your mind against chaos and external pressure. Your influence flows through observation, calculation, and anticipation. The world bends not because it fears you, but because it cannot perceive a path outside your will. Command your environment, integrate mastery into every action, and project influence invisibly. Do not engage in needless struggle. Allow preparation and presence to accomplish what force cannot. Stand unmoved in the storm, guiding currents without revealing the hand that steers. Embody patience, foresight, and strategic clarity until your presence alone shapes outcomes, dissolving confrontation before it surfaces. Weak, pursue control externally. Strong, cultivate power internally until it radiates effortlessly. Your life becomes a theater where you dictate the script while observers follow unknowingly. I am the shadow, the strategy, The sovereign. You are the sovereign of your own mind, commanding every thought, action, and observation with relentless discipline. Daily enforcement is the backbone of your power. Sovereignty is not granted once, but earned continuously. Rise each day with intent, move through your environment with precision, and observe without attachment. Every decision, no matter how small, becomes a calculated act that reinforces your authority. Weak react impulsively. Strong execute with calm, deliberate purpose. Your presence alone signals control, shaping outcomes before any challenge arises. Discipline is not visible chaos, but the invisible scaffold that supports unshakable power. Commanding your life requires more than action. It demands a mantra that crystallizes your transformation. Speak it silently each morning. Let it guide your posture, your expression, your gaze. I am the throne, the blade, the shadow. I endure, I command, I am untouchable. This phrase is not mere words. It is a psychological framework. In every conversation, negotiation, or potential conflict, recall this mantra. Stand unwavering when opinions diverge, allowing your calm authority to absorb resistance. When a colleague questions your judgment, you do not react with defensiveness. You listen, clarify with composed authority, and redirect the dialogue toward your strategic objective. Weak, argue to assert dominance. Strong, embody the outcome, and compliance becomes natural. The legacy of mastery is forged through persistent self-mastery. Respect, freedom, and influence flow not from confrontation, but from consistent demonstration of discipline. Every habit, ritual, and measured action compounds, creating a presence that others recognize without conscious acknowledgement. Hesitation invites chaos, decisiveness preserves sovereignty. In your work, relationships, and personal development, let every gesture reflect this command. Your environment adjusts to your rhythm, your peers defer to your consistency, and adversaries find no foothold in your stability. Weak, rely on fear or coercion. Strong, cultivate silent influence, and the world aligns without a single battle. Embrace rituals, enforce discipline, and internalize the commanding mantra daily. Let your actions speak before words. Your observation preempts confrontation, and your calm authority dictates outcomes. The throne is not given. It is claimed moment by moment, thought by thought, movement by movement. You are untouchable because you have mastered yourself. Your influence flows invisibly, yet powerfully, shaping every interaction, every decision, and every environment you inhabit. Stand firm, remain vigilant, and let your presence alone achieve what others pursue with struggle. I am the throne, the blade, the shadow. I endure, I command, I am untouchable.